Hi everyone, welcome to Insights with Lily Zhang. Today is a very sad day. You probably already heard that. China just passed a national security law over Hong Kong, which is basically the death sentence of Hong Kong. So in the near future, we're going to witness the death of international financial hub. So today, that's what I'm going to talk about, why Hong Kong is heading to death, and also why we probably get into a world of new world Cold War, maybe World War III. It's a very sad topic. If you don't know me, my name is Lily Zhang. I'm an international entrepreneur, author, and speaker. My program is trying to make you have a healthier, wealthier, happier life. But unfortunately, since I started this program, I have to talk about so many bad news. If you go back to my earlier program, in January, I already predicted Hong Kong crisis and China crisis and world economic crisis. But the Hong Kong crisis, I didn't expect it will come so fast and so dramatically. But actually, I'm not surprised because China's been forcing this kind of law since 2003. We've tried this national security law before in 2003, and as Hong Kong people had huge protests about it, they probably been shelved. But this time, because of the pandemic, probably many people all over the world focus on the pandemic. So, and also the direct cause of this dramatic move probably is because of the coronavirus pandemic and caused huge economic and political crisis in China. That's why this is their move to try to change the focus of the world, because all over the world, almost every country is asking the hard question how this virus originated, and pointed to China's covering up of this origin of this pandemic. So China, as we know, currently facing very deep economic crisis, and in their National Congress, they don't even mention GDP growth, because GDP growth used to be a huge proud of Chinese government. Every year they're going to talk about their target. 8%, 10%, 12%, 6%. They've been talking about 6%, the minimum for last 5 years. And now they get into the minus. GDP is into minus category. So this Congress, they don't even mention that. So China's economy is collapsing. And on the other hand, China's political system is collapsing. And if they're facing very huge pressure internally and externally. So politically, it's very unstable. That's why Hong Kong become the biggest risk factor for China's political stability. That's why we can understand why Chinese government have this move. The law has passed. I'm not surprised at all, because the Chinese parliament is a rubber stamp parliament. They passed everything. All their function is raise up their hands to pass every proposal the CCP, the Communist Party, proposed. So it's not a surprise at all. I think most people have been to Hong Kong. Hong Kong is a lovely city. Most people like me enjoy the food, the culture, the international financial hub, and economic prosperity. Hong Kong has its own special status in China. Historically, Hong Kong is a British colony, but in 1997, according to agreement between British and the Chinese government, because Hong Kong was leased to British for 99 years since 1898. That's why British has to return it to China. But because British law, Hong Kong become a international financial hub, also enjoy the freedom and human rights under British ruling. So on that agreement, British and the Chinese government agree for 50 years Hong Kong's freedom and human rights and legal system are guaranteed, not change. So they call that basic law. So Hong Kong has a totally different system compared with mainland China. Hong Kong has freedom of speech, freedom of international monetary transfer, and freedom of Hong Kong has its own independent legal system. Hong Kong has trade and economic special status with most of the rest of the world. So it's kind of a tax-free zone internationally. 50 years, Hong Kong from a small fishing village become a international financial hub. In Hong Kong, there's a rule called one country, two system. Basically, Hong Kong belongs to China, but enjoy the freedom of democracy and human rights. And also, as an international city, Hong Kong has its special status internationally. But this time, when China passed the national security law, bypass Hong Kong's basic law. Basically, it's just force Chinese legal system or power over Hong Kong. That's why it's a symbol of totally take over Hong Kong and destroy Hong Kong's special zone status. There are two basic points in this national security law. Number one is forbidden any activity, even speech, against Chinese national security. Which means if you say or do anything, criticize the Chinese government or criticize anything police do, or also including terrorism and foreign intervention. And in Chinese legal term, national security, there's no definition for that. That could be anything. Anything the Chinese government want to add on the criminal charge to anybody. So that's totally destroyed Hong Kong's independent legal system. And also they are not, because currently Hong Kong's legal system, they have in Hong Kong's High Court, there are large majority of judges from overseas, from England, from Canada, Australia, America. Under this national security law, they can get rid of all of these judges. And for a communist country, the national security law is above any law. So basically, the Communist Party can rule over Hong Kong's legal system, even High Court. Number two, China can force its secret agencies, police forces into Hong Kong. Before, Hong Kong's police forces are under control by Hong Kong government. Chinese government, they have probably around 10,000 defense forces stationed in Hong Kong, but they can't interfere in anything Hong Kong government or police actions. Now, under this national security law, China can station its own security police. Basically, that's just the old KGB or the old secret police. They can do anything they want secretly. They don't have to go to court. They don't have to go to trial. They can arrest anybody they want and torture anybody, even kill anybody they want. So based on these two basic laws, Hong Kong's legal system totally been destroyed. That's the end of Hong Kong's democracy and freedom. Well, the Chinese propaganda will say, well, this is just a national security law. It doesn't affect most people. 99.9% of people in Hong Kong are safe. It's just totally lie. Because this basically destroy Hong Kong's legal system and Hong Kong's autonomous status. Because what does Hong Kong have? What's the most valuable thing for Hong Kong? It's freedom. It's democracy. It's not, Hong Kong belongs to China, but it's not China. Hong Kong's best value is its freedom, its democracy, its economic and trade free zone. So Hong Kong's best value is its people and its spatial freedom, economically, politically, and international trade. And Hong Kong become a bridge between the world and China. Hong Kong dollar can be traded internationally. And Hong Kong's international system, monetary system, stock exchange, economy is the same system as most of the Western world. And Hong Kong's people, they have the experience of dealing with both world, China and the world, the Western world. So it's not this national security law. It's not just against Hong Kong's legal system, political system. It definitely destroys Hong Kong's economic and trade. Because without this freedom, without the freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of economic and trade status, Hong Kong has nothing. Hong Kong has no value. Hong Kong is just another city of China. But that's the intention of Chinese government. They just want Hong Kong under control and become part of China, the real mainland China. Why? Why do they want to do this? Why do they want to destroy Hong Kong? Because maybe currently they have no other choice. China has its biggest economic and political crisis under dramatic pressure from overseas and internally. And their economy is collapsing. And this economic collapsing causes social instability. So Hong Kong become the center and the tinder of this instability. So for Chinese government, CCP government, the most important thing for them is not economy, not human rights. Most important for them is their power. They can't afford. They don't mind how many people die, how many people starve, how many people killed by a pandemic or war. The most thing they care about is their power. Because, of course, if they lose power, they will be killed. That's the communist system. They would rather sacrifice Hong Kong to achieve stability of China. Without Hong Kong's stability inside mainland China, many people will see the example of Hong Kong, because Hong Kong people have been protest since last year for almost a year. They go on street. That's why Chinese government, they don't mind sacrifice Hong Kong's prosperity to keep their power, keep the stability of mainland China. From Hong Kong, we can get 4 lessons for Western world. Number one, communism's purpose is to destroy democracy, destroy freedom. That's their purpose. They're born for that because for communist system, the only thing important is their power. They would sacrifice anybody, anything to remain in power. Number two, fake promises. The 1997 Basic Law signed an agreement between Britain and China, guaranteed 50 years for Hong Kong's freedom and democracy. But any agreement for Chinese government is just piece of paper. They like any promise they made is just fake. Also, like a WTO, World Trade Organization's agreement. Currently, the trade war between America and China was caused by that, because China just don't follow the rules. Like I said, any agreement, any treaty for Chinese government, that's nothing. They can do whatever as they want. There's no rule. They have their own rule. And internationally, they don't obey any international rules. They don't follow any Western values. Number three, infiltration. Well, this Chinese national law passed. It's not happened overnight. China has been infiltrating Hong Kong for more than 20 years. Since 1997, Chinese government has been infiltrate, try to control and influence Hong Kong government for 20 years, economically, financially, politically. Politically, Beijing has been controlling Hong Kong's governor for a long time. In every Hong Kong's governor, they have to be kind of agreed by or even directly appointed by Beijing government. And financially, before, in 1997, only one Chinese company publicly listed on Hong Kong Stock Exchange. And now, less than 1% of companies are Hong Kong's own companies. Majority of them are Chinese mainland companies. Economically, Chinese company has been taking over Hong Kong business for a long time. So Chinese government has been infiltrating Hong Kong in all fields for more than 20 years. So this time, I moved to this national security law. It's not an overnight action. It's been planned for a long time, and it's been prepared for a long time. Number four, takeover. Yeah, that's what we seeing now. After infiltration, then that's communism takeover. And they don't mind any violence. They don't care how many people might die, how many blood may be on the street. We've already seen, we still remember 1989, Tiananmen Square. The Communist Party, they don't hesitate to kill their own people at all. So they don't hesitate to kill Hong Kong people either. Hundreds, thousands of them. So far already, since last year, already 8,000 Hong Kong people has been arrested. Thousands of people been murdered or disappeared. So sad to see. For in near future, we'll see, of course, Hong Kong people, they are not going to give up their freedom and democracy. They will fight. They'll go protest. But I don't know the result. We might sad to see there will be lots of blood, lots of people being murdered. And now, under this national security law, Chinese government can do it legally. So, 4 steps on communism taking over democracy. Number 1, destroy capitalism. That's their purpose. Number 2, fake promise. They can promise anything to pretend to agree with you. Number 3, infiltration. They use political, economic, financial, any tool they can use. Basically, mainly as the monetary tool to infiltrate all your system. Number 4, takeover, including violence and war. That's the lesson we can learn from Hong Kong's tragedy. That's the tragedy we're gonna see in Hong Kong. I can already visualize Hong Kong's death. Many financial institutions will leave Hong Kong. Many international companies will leave Hong Kong. And many people, if they don't want to fight, they might have to leave Hong Kong. China already declared, they are preparing for millions of Hong Kong people to leave Hong Kong. They probably either being killed or forced to leave Hong Kong. And China already started immigration into Hong Kong. They already motivated many mainland Chinese people to move to Hong Kong or to replace Hong Kong people. Yeah, they currently it's just they already started brainwash, even brainwash from children. They started recruit kindergarten, even primary school teachers in mainland China to go to Hong Kong to teach Hong Kong kids how to sing Chinese national anthem, how to think and behave like mainland Chinese. They are preparing to clean up Hong Kong. So in very near future, we'll see Hong Kong's economy collapsing, financial market collapsing, and Chinese government will try everything to keep the economic or financial system working because Hong Kong has a special position for them too. But I don't think they just can't understand without freedom and democracy, Hong Kong is nothing. Hong Kong worth nothing. I think also we're going to see Hong Kong become the front line of the new Cold War. After the Soviet Union broken up, don't think the Cold War is ended. The communism still there, still very well alive. And now China's, after a few decades of growth, China becomes the biggest threat of the world. So I think America already recognized that. Europe still need to waking up. American Congress just passed, they passed the Hong Kong Human Rights and Democracy Act bill last year. They're going to monitoring Hong Kong's democracy crisis. Also, America just announced they're going to cancel Hong Kong's special status as free trade and economic zone. So from last year's trade war, we see between China and America, we see very recently the pandemic, the biological war, the propaganda war, information war, high-tech war. We can already see Huawei's American section against Huawei. Now, a new crisis is happening. It's Hong Kong. So Hong Kong is at the crossroads, the front line of the Cold War, the new Cold War between China and America. It's not just between China and America. China become the force against international freedom and democracy. So America just the first one to wake up. So what are the options for Western world? We might see sanctions against Hong Kong and mainland China, but I think Chinese government already prepared for that. They already under economic crisis, so they probably already calculated they will get sanctions from Western world. That's why they think, their economy already bad enough. what other sections can do for them. It can't be any worse. That's why they take this risk to force this security law on Hong Kong. Also, other diplomatic ways, maybe withdraw diplomatic personnel. That means the breakup, the decoupling of between America and China. It's already happening. Also, Hong Kong is the information, we can say that probably spy center for America and also Western world. So that's why China has to, they don't mind sacrifice whole Hong Kong to protect that territory. Yeah, we'll see information war there. Are we going to see hot war? It's quite possibly. The hotspots are Hong Kong, Taiwan, and South China Sea. We already see lots of military drill in those areas. And another reason China use this control over Hong Kong is to show muscle to Taiwan, because Taiwan is probably the next target for Chinese government. But at least Taiwan has different status compared with Hong Kong. Taiwan has its own legal system, political system, and not controlled by China. So Taiwan has the protection of American military and support. So the next hotspot could be Taiwan and South China Sea. We might see military actions over there. If there's a World War III, I think I might start it over there. So 2020, such a dramatic year. We are going to witness so many crises and changes. I said in my program before, we are going to see depression, deflation, and destruction. Now we are witnessing the first destruction, the destruction of Hong Kong, the destruction of a free world. Start from Hong Kong. If we still can't learn from the tragedy of Hong Kong, the free world is in great danger. So if next time you travel to Hong Kong, you will notice the difference. And Hong Kong is no more Hong Kong. And for me, yes, I'm not going to travel to mainland China, and I'm going to try to avoid Hong Kong as well. I miss the old Hong Kong. Today, that's my farewell to Hong Kong. Okay, that's my program today. Thank you very much.